Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode, and I'm absolutely thrilled today to have with me Susan Wilder. Susan, first of all, welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Susan, you've had many diverse roles: storyteller, actor, filmmaker, artist. So, could you start by telling our audience a little bit about your professional background?
I started pretty late in life pursuing acting. In 2017 as a professional. I have a theater background, high school, things like that, but started pursuing a little bit later in life. And then one thing led to another, and had the pleasure of being able to join the film community. Yeah.
So, tell us about the storytelling and why being a storyteller is so important to you, both personally and professionally.
I think it kind of connects both professionally and personally. Being a storyteller for me is about connection. Storytelling is we're telling our stories as human beings. And everyone has a story to tell. And people are beautiful. And so being able to share stories, whether it's true life stories or created in a narrative where some of it might be science fiction or fantasy, there's always something that people can connect to within a story. So that's why it's so important to me.
I want to explore the intersection of being a storyteller, but as an actor, as an artist, and as a filmmaker. I certainly understand telling a story as an actor, but how do you flip that when you become the filmmaker, a director or producer, or is it really just the same thing?
I think they're definitely different roles, because as an actor, you're telling a piece of the story. As a director, you're kind of the author of the story. It's your whole vision in order to tell the story. As an actor, it's the piece, and you're dedicated to that piece, that character, and driving the character and making sure that you're helping to create the director's vision. But as the director, it's your vision. And so you have the whole story to tell and make sure that it comes across the way you want it to. Yeah. So
Does this perspective shape the narratives you want to pursue, or do you just find an interesting story and let your professional interest shape how you would then tell that story?
a little bit of both, a little bit of both. I'm always open to reading a script and kind of looking for something that's different. But again, like I said, everybody has a story to tell. There's so many things out there, different ways to tell a story. And when you're presented with a project, you can just dive into discovering who the character is and what kind of project it is. I love projects that have kind of an underlying meaning or message along with the actual storyline of the film. I kind of look for projects that kind of go along with it, but I'm open to, as an actor, playing any kind of role that is interesting, and a challenge is what I look for also.
How were you able to, or maybe even why did you transition from acting to moving to the other side of the camera?
I think as an actor, I love acting. It's a huge passion for me and a big piece of why I love storytelling. But also as an actor, there's only so many roles that you fit, right? So you only can fit so many roles because there's always a bit of typecasting in a role. And so I realized, oh, this project may be an amazing project and I would really love to be involved in it. How can I be involved in it if if I don't fit any of these characters here? So I decided that I wanted to start learning things behind the camera so I could keep working and doing things like that. And the one thing led to another. And I started working in documentary work, which I love as well. And then I was invited to direct a narrative. That's kind of how I got to where I am today.
So could you tell us a little bit about this directorial debut around narratives that you're currently working on?
Yes. I am so excited and so honored to be a part of that. Dream Forge is an initiative that Patrick Duvall has started here in San Antonio. And he is just trying to create opportunity and support filmmakers in San Antonio and throughout Texas. And he decided that for his initiative and first kind of out of the chute projects, he was going to champion women filmmakers. And he invited 4 women to direct short films. I was honored and was one of the ones that was invited. He gave me the script, and it was just the meat on the bones. That's it. And he allowed us as directors to kind of add in all of the fluff and our creativity to the story. And I just kind of took off running with it, and I absolutely love it. So I am directing a film, What Remains, and it's about a oil field worker who is experiencing tragedy and loss and dealing with the higher ups in a company.
So did you get a sort of a bare bones idea or project and you filled it out? Or was it
Yes.
something different?
No, I kind of got the bare bones, and he just allowed me to kind of run with it. And we worked together on completing the script, and I added just a lot of the storyline and where I wanted it to go, the heart of the story, I think, and just developed the characters and added characters, and I just fluffed it up a bunch.
So I want to explore your creative process because I've never written a script. I've written a lot of nonfiction work and tried fiction, never successfully published. But in fiction, when I write, it's literally plays out in my head. And then I feel like I'm just recording what I see.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand there are other processes. What's your process? Did you think of it? Did you research it? Did you do all of the above? None of the above? Is it organic? Is it just scatter
Yeah.
shot? How did it work for Susan?
For me, I guess I should say I am not a script writer. I think that is an art form in and of itself. But creating the storyline, and then was able to work with Patrick, like I said, to actually put it in script form. But for me, I was given kind of the meat on the bones, and I saw it. If that makes any sense.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I just was able, I read the script and started thinking, was excited about the project and the opportunity. And I remember I was late at night, and had to search for a pen and paper because I was like, I've got to write this down. This is it. This is it. I could just see the whole story line in my brain. And ever since, that's kind of what's driven me through the process. Now there has been research because I'm not an oil field worker. I just kind of had to make sure that I was staying authentic to that and things like that. So it's been a process where you do have edits and things like that, but it's been so fun.
Have you started filming?
Yes.
So what is it like for you as a director behind the camera, understanding you have worked on the other side of the camera as an actor? How is that process? Does it, because you're an actor, give you perhaps more insight than someone like me who's never been an actor and might try to direct? Or is it, I assume it's collaborative, but maybe I shouldn't assume that. Tell me about that dynamic process for you with your actors.
For me, I hope it brings something a little bit different than someone who might direct and not have an acting background. Just being able to understand where the actors come from. And I love to and have explored the process of character development with my actors and rehearsals. To me as an actor, character development it's a huge part of my process. I love character development. getting to know and understand the character as an actor and who they are as a human being. And so I want to provide opportunity for my actors to be able to do that, and then also provide them with opportunity for chemistry development between the characters. So I have been holding rehearsals with my characters. We've been doing exercises that kind of bring out the characters in them and kind of allow them to explore the character, the way they walk, the way they hold themselves, all of those kinds of things in the rehearsals. And then I ask them to take it home and continue with that process. And so I just hope, as a director coming from the acting side of things, that I can help my actors just really be in touch and bring authenticity to their work.
I want to explore voice with you and the importance of voice, how you maybe not see voice, but how do you use that, once again, behind the camera as the director, and how do you incorporate that into your overall storytelling?
I think as an actor, director, I come from a place of experiences, and I really enjoy that piece of my work. And I guess from starting later in life, I have more life experiences. And so I find myself drawing from life experiences and in my work. So my voice really is just authenticity and bringing the truth of the characters out, and the truth of the message, the underlying message or tone of the story. So I don't really feel like I have a specific initiative with everything that I do as far as a voice, but I feel like just I guess my voice would be authenticity and bringing characters to life and telling the story in the truest form that it can be told.
Let me turn now not to the actors, but the other members of your crew, the lighting people, film people, and makeup people, all of those that may be in the background but are incredibly important. How do you work with them in the context of your overall storytelling?
I think one of the most beautiful things about storytelling, whether it be in the theater or filmmaking, is the collaborative process. And because you can't do it by yourself, there is not and one story that is told without the huge collaborative process. And if you don't have each and every one of those people that you don't have skills for, then your story can fall flat. So for me, it's important. I respect each and every individual and am so appreciative that they're there on the set. Communicate with them as far as my vision for the story, or my vision for, let's say, hair and makeup, what I might want to bring to the story with that artistry. And everyone is an artist that's on a set. I mean, from lighting is an artistry. Being director of photography they're artists. And it's so beautiful to just say, hey, here is my vision. This is what I want to see in a shot. This is what my vision and my brain is telling me. What's the best way we can do that with the camera? And allowing your director of photography to be the artist that he or she is in their own right and collaborate on that. So for me, I love it. And you can't, like I said, you can't do it by yourself. So everyone is so important.
So how could you assess your broader artistic pursuits? Obviously, we've talked about acting and filmmaking, but the visual arts, how do they all kind of come together for you or influence each other?
I think it's just, I'm always creating. I guess I'm just a creative. So if I don't have a film project or theater project I'm working on, I'm doing something creative painting. I like to refinish furniture and repurpose old things. But to me, again, it's about like the story that's behind that. just thinking of a piece of furniture that might be over 100 years old. How many people did that encounter? And I know that's so silly, but it's just if you sit down and think, how many stories could this piece of furniture tell? And heartache and hardship, but yet celebrations in life and love, happiness. Oh my goodness. So I think humanity is just, I don't really know, just kind of part of who I am and why I love storytelling and how it affects how my other artistry, like whether I'm painting or refinishing furniture or whatever. I think I get ideas. Like I said, thinking about the piece of furniture can bring an idea for a narrative or a story that, oh, that would be a good story to tell. Let's research that a little bit and see what we can come up with. So it's fun.
So what would you say to if you were going to speak to a high school class or high school students or college students or people in a retirement center in Kerrville about following their own passions around storytelling, acting, and filmmaking, given that you've moved into this arena a little bit later in life?
I would say if you, with anything in life, if you have a passion or you feel a passion, you have a desire to do something, explore it, do it. And if you really love it, you find that you really are falling in love with that artistry and that craft, then pursue it. Because I consider myself, I say it all the time and I kind of put it in my social media and stuff, just living the dream. And for me, maybe because starting later in life, to me, it's about creating. It's about storytelling. This is who I am. I've discovered who I am as a person, and I need to do these things. And so, who doesn't want to be in the top blockbuster Hollywood movie? But at the same time, I am doing what I love. I'm creating connection for other people to enjoy artistry and work and storytelling in a format. And so I consider myself living the dream. And so I would just say, live your dream and pursue it out of happiness. Pursue your drive. Don't get lost in what society tells us is being a successful filmmaker as far as making tons and tons of money. Who doesn't want to do that? And I would accept that and welcome it, all the things. But at the same time, I love what I do and I'm not going to stop just because I'm not making hundreds and millions of dollars. I'm going to keep telling stories because that's who I am and what I need to do.
Well, Susan, unfortunately, we are near the end of our time for this episode, but I did want to end by asking if any of our listeners wanted to connect with you, find out more about your work, or perhaps even projects you might be anticipating, what might be the best place or places for them to go?
Sure. Yeah, they can find me on Instagram at Susan Wilder Actress. Yeah.
Well, Susan, this has been perhaps the most inspiring podcast I have ever done. I want to thank you so much, and I hope we can continue this conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.